Hello guys, welcome back. So in the last video tutorial, I explained to you why the explore page was real-time. Okay, because in the um please let me just quickly change this thing. Okay, because I've been saying that I'll change it, but I don't change it. It's supposed to be the explore page. Okay, and then we continue. So we get an error somewhere, which is this side, and yep, we will have to change it to the explore page here. Okay, now let's save it and we get it. Okay, so like I was saying, so in the last video tutorial I was explaining to you why the explore page was real time, and you can see that my page is blank white. Okay, we don't have any data there, but then if you look into the code here, I mean in Firebase, you can see there's a lot of data because someone tried to mess with my Firebase API. Okay, please, if you want to use this to, if you want to follow this tutorial, don't use this link. Okay, don't use this link. Otherwise, I'm going to change the rules without you knowing anything about it. Okay, I'm going to change it, but then I want you to understand, and then we follow line by lines, and then when we get to where we have to change the rules, we will change it. Okay, I don't want to do it without you. So kindly create your own um Firebase. Okay, Firebase is free. All you need is your Gmail account. You create one, and then create your own project, and then you can use the link just above there for your for this project, instead of someone just push a lot of data into my code, and it's so annoying. Okay, it's annoying, and it's at the same time so funny. So you can see that the code is broken, even though we are having a lot of code inside, I mean a lot of data inside our Firebase. Okay, so what I want to do here is to fix that error. I wanted to fix it without you, but then I'm going to fix it with you. So let's just go ahead and print the error and see what is happening. Okay, so quickly we print the error and the error, and we can check what is actually going on here. I'm sorry. So actually I wanted to fix this error, but let me just clear this whole thing. But I want you to know what is wrong in case you face the same thing. So let me just go back and try to go here, and we can see that we are fetching data here that is coming, and then you can see a whole lot of Arabic and some funny thing. But this is the error. This is trying to say that there's an integer value and we are trying to assign it to a double. Okay, type int is not a subtype of type double. Okay, so we are trying to assign it an integer to a double, and then when I check the price, you can see the price is double, and this one too is also double. So I think the error is coming from one of these. So all I do is to change these values from whatever they are, whether they are integer to double. So we will use the double dot pass method, okay, to change this, and this will accept a string, but you know that what we are receiving is what, an integer, so we also have to change it to what, a string before we pass it to the pass. And then we also have to change this one too. Okay, sorry, we also have to change this one to, and then paste this code and then change it to dot string. Let's see what we get, and let's just go back here and then come back and see if it works. Okay, so you can see we are having all this data coming from. It's so funny. I don't even know why someone try to use the same link. It's so crazy because I asked you to create your own thing. Don't use this link. I'm just saying it again. Okay. So the reason why I've not been recording videos is because I'm having difficulties in purchasing internet bundle. I'm not asking for anything from you guys, but purchasing bundles from here in Ghana is very expensive, and it takes a whole lot of money to, I mean, upload this video on YouTube. So sometimes I just feel like I have to wait some more because I'm spending too much money on this. But anyway, so let's continue. So what I want to do today is to make sure we edit the product. Okay, so you know that when we go here and click here, we are adding. So I want to use this same form, okay, for the editing of the product. Just forget about the image, we will do it later. So I'll just go back here. um okay, so when I tap on this, I want to open uh the the form and then do what, edit. Later we will we will use Flutter slidable for this, so that when we slide we can view and then edit and then delete at the same time. But now I'm going to use gesture detectors for this functionalities, and then maybe later change it, because that one too is another way. um so what I'm going to do now, first you can see that we don't have any title in the app bar. Okay, you check, go to the home, you don't have anything there, you come here to, you don't have anything there, you come here to, you don't have anything there. So what I'm going to do is quickly go into the main screen here. You know, the main screen is the screen containing all the four screens, okay, which is between the bottom navigation, okay, and then we get the current page. Okay, we change the pages to the current page, okay, and then we do the same functionalities and we get it. So the app bar is coming from here, so I can just go ahead and assign an app bar, title to this app bar here, and I can say, let's say home. Now when I save it home, everywhere is going to be home. Okay, but then it didn't work because the background here is white. So it is actually making this text also white. So I'll write a style here, test style, to change the color, and that will be colors dot white. And then I want to also set the font size to 16.0. And I also sorry, it's not supposed to be white. Colors dot black 54, sorry. And maybe I want to set the font weight to bold. You can choose to do whatever you want to do, and then save it, and I get it here. So right, let me just make it black instead of black 54, sorry. So now when I save it here, yeah, I get it this way. So I want to center the tab to true. So that will now push it to the center. So we want it to be dynamic for each page. Okay, when I come to the home, forget about this arrow. When I come to the home, I want to change it from home to something. Um, okay, let me just make this one nice. I'm going to change it to let's say any name for the food. Let's say food delivery app, something nice. Maybe you can put any name there. And so with this one, now we have to make it dynamic. Let me format the here, format the text. Okay, so now we have this. So now depending on the current tab, okay, you can see that the current tab is what, 0, which is pointing to the home, and then this is 1, 2, and then 3. So if I want to change the text here, then if I want to make this one dynamic, then I have to check the current tab. Okay, so if it is equal to 0, then I know that I'm on the home page and I want this on this. Else, okay, this is the short form of if else statement. Okay, it's called a ternary operator, else. So this will be the else part. And if else, I want to check again if it is equal to 1. Okay, if it is equal to 1, then I know I'm on the explore page. So I want to say all food items. Okay, else again, I want to check current tab equals to 2. Okay, so if equals to 2, then I know I'm on the others page. So I'm going to set the test to I'm sorry, if it's equal to 2, then I'm going to set to others page. Okay, others. Okay, yeah, let me just make it others. Else, um else what we are going to do is we are going to change, we are going to set if current tab, or we can just else, because we know that if it is not 1, 2, or 3, we can just go ahead and say profile. Okay, and then we can go ahead and put the comma there. So we need our comma there, and then the error is going to be save it, and let's see what we get. So now when I click on this, it goes to all food items, and that is now dynamic. When I click on others, it goes to others, and I click on this, it goes to profile. Okay, so I think we have this and it makes sense at the moment. So now we can now continue with what we actually want to do. So on the explore page, we want to click on this, and then it opens the other page. Okay, so that is explore page, yeah, this one, yeah. And then we have to change something here. We have to make sure that when this one is clicked, this food item card, you can see this is the card. When the card is clicked, we want to open the add food item page, this time for editing. Okay, so to do that, I think um, we have to wrap this with a gesture, the food item card with a gesture detector so that we can get the on top. And I'm just thinking of something. I started recording this video last year because that's when I started the YouTube channel, but I was inconsistent with the video recording because of internet purchases. It's very difficult here. Okay, I won't lie to you about it. It's very difficult here. So what I'm going to do here is there's something here which is working fine. It's working fine, but in my experience now with developing Flutter application, this line of code is really annoying, or it doesn't make any sense because we have a list view, and instead we are converting the food items that we receive here, okay, into a map, and then we convert it to a list and then pass it to the children of the list view. It works fine, but then we know that in Flutter we have the ListView.builder, which helps us to easily build the a list view, which we don't know the number of items that we will get. Okay, so we will use that one rather instead of converting the foods into map. Okay, so I'll copy this code for the food item card here, and then inside the list view I'll just delete this whole code here, and then now I'll change this to dot builder. Okay, so the list view dot builder will accept what item count, so that will be the number of items that you want to do. And this code here, I wouldn't want to accept it this way. Okay, so I'll comment it because if this one is returning the food items, okay, then I can just use it here. Okay, or I can go into my food model here, which is the scope model here, and write a code here to return me the size of the food item. So we can do it this way and then say get food size or food length. Let me do it this way, food length here, and then we can return the foods dot length here. Okay, save it, and then when we come to the explore page here, we can now say model dot food length here. So we can do it this way, that's fine, or we can just go ahead and do foods dot length here. Okay, it's still the same thing, so depends on what you prefer. Okay, and then now we also have to set the item builder. Okay, so the item builder is what will build if this list view continue to loop through our items. Okay, so this will accept the build context. Okay, and I'm going to do it lctx which is for list view context. Okay, you can name it anyway, but I don't want it to conflict with this one and then this one. Okay, let me change this one to sctx. So this is saying scope contest, and then this is list view contest, and we also have to pass another argument, which is the int index. Okay, because as this list view is looping through our food items, this list view is looping through our food items. Okay, we are going to do what we are going to get the index of an element of an item in the list. Okay, the index. Okay, so now we can now return the food card. Okay, now we know that we can't use this one again, so we have to access the model.foods. Okay, sorry, foods, and then because we are getting the index here, we know the position that we have to get from the foods list. Okay, so we pass that index here, which can be 0, 1, 2, and then it will fetch us the item at that particular index or position. So we put that one there, and we can now access the name. Okay, and then we can also go ahead and do the same thing for the rest. Put the same index there, and then this time we are accessing the description, and then I will just remove this side and then do the same thing here. Model dot foods, okay, dot index, okay, dot price, and then that's the string, and it's all gone, all errors are gone. So you can see we are still having the same thing, When I go to the home and then come back to this, you can see it's still working the same way, but this is the best way to do it. So like I was saying, we have to change this now here, okay, to a gesture detector here. Okay, and then now we have to pass in the chart, and then we are going to pass this thing here. So now when we tap on this, okay, on tap, we actually want to navigate to the next page, okay. So we can say navigator dot of context. We want to go to the add food item page dot push, okay, and we have to pass in the material page route. So material page route here, which also has a builder, and then we have to pass in the build context, and then context, let's say CTX, okay, and then we have to navigate to the page that we want to add food item. Okay, now we go to this food item here. So you see we only have one statement here. You can see the semicolon is one statement, so we can convert this to arrow function here. So we can cut this code and remove this code here and then convert it to arrow function here. So people see this and then they are kind of confused, because if you're having only um, one statement in your, your function, you can convert it to an arrow function, and that will work for you. Okay. So now when I click on it, it should open the add food item page for me. And let's click. And I don't know, it's not working. It's not working. Let me see if I'm getting any errors. No error. This one is a different thing. This one is for, this error is coming because there's one error here. That's okay. Um, that's okay, but I don't know. I'm tapping on it. It doesn't work. So let me tap again. Okay, so I think it's because I'm using the arrow function here. Let me just change it to this and see something. I don't know. I don't think it's because of the arrow function. So let me click on it and see. Yep, it's not the arrow function. So what is the problem? This is the error page. Let me save it again on top. Okay, and then come here. And then go back again and let's see what we get. And it still doesn't work. Okay, this is so interesting. It still doesn't work. This interesting. Why are you not working? Okay, let me just change this to contest and see. I don't know why. But this is not working. Anyways, okay. Let me see. Let me pause this contest here. I don't know. There's something which is not making it work. This is so interesting. Let me pause this contest there and see. Okay, these are some of the things you get. Okay, because I'm using on top here. This is the gesture detector. That makes sense. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe I should just rebuild the code. I'll change back to contest and then let's rebuild. Okay, I'm just rebuilding it from here. Okay, because I'm expecting this thing to work. It's supposed to go to the add food item page, and it's not. So let me see. I'm not actually getting why it's not working. Okay, so now when I click on it, yeah. Okay, so I think it has a problem with the maybe we had to build again. So we continue to the arrow function and it will still work. Okay. So but I'll just leave it this way. So the problem was just because we were not refreshing it. Okay. So let's go to the add food item page. So now we are able to go to the add food item page. We are going to use this same form for the editing of the product or the food item. So I'll go to the add food item page here. Okay. When I go there, there's something I want to do. I want to first add an app bar. Okay, where is the press? I want to do um let me go there. Let me click and go there. So when we come here, you can see this white thing, this thing at the top there. So I'll wrap this with a safe area. So if you want to just take that one thing, that thing off, you can do this. And then you can go ahead and then you get this. Okay. So we have this. Let me just change something here. This is the button. This thing is too much. I'll change it to, let's say, 70, and maybe it's okay for me. Okay, so we have this, and then now what again do I want to do before I start working on the forms? So I want to add an app bar here. So app bar, okay, because I want to know which state we are now. So we can then put it here, and then we can say add food item. Okay, so it's there. I want to change the background and the elevation 0 to 0. Background color is the white. Okay, and then we also have to change the tester on this tester, and then tester. Okay, and then we have to specify the colors that black 54, and then we also have to specify the font size to 16.0. We want to specify the font weight to font weight that bold. Okay, and then we also have to change, sorry, I don't want 54, I just want the, okay, so this is what I want. And you can see that arrow that was there, the back arrow is gone. Okay, the reason is because of the color of the thing we are doing. So I want to center this to true. That one is also okay. Okay, but then I don't even want that arrow. I just want a different icon there. So I'll set the leading of this bar, which is leading means for here, starting from here. Okay, the leading is starting from here. Okay, so leading, you can put any widget here. If you want to check here, you can see it accepts any widget. So leading is widget leading. So you can put any thing there. So what I want to put there is I want to put an icon button here, and then the icon button, I can pass in the icon that I want, which is icons dot close, and then I can set the color on it because we have to set the color we are using, background color of white of the alba. So this one to black, and then save, and then I get it there. Okay, so when this is clicked on the on top or on the pressed, you can now save this to navigator dot of contest dot pop. Okay, to pop this, and then when we save it now, we can now click back, and it takes us to that place, and then when we click here, it just brings us back again. Okay, so what I want to do here, you can see there's extra space here because previously we were not using the safe area, so we were trying to put a lot of space at the top there. So I'll just remove it from here. Okay, but we need a space at the bottom but not at the top. So this vertical, I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to change. Let me just remove it. Let me just remove it. It's okay. Okay. So I have this, and that is okay for me. So now I have this code. So how do we receive? How do we get all this? How do we get this information to the test form fields here? Okay. So to do that, okay, we know that when we click on the item, because we can identify from here, we can identify the type of food we are displaying in the card. We can find a way to push it to this food item, okay, as a parameter to the constructor, okay, and then the constructor would then we will use the value into in our test form field. So when we come here, I'll I'll just go ahead and then sorry, I'll, I'll just come here, and then I will take this whole code out there, and let me accept this as final food. Okay, and then final food and food here, and we have to accept it as a parameter here. So when you use this curly brackets here, it means it is optional. Whatever value that you are accepting as a parameter through the constructor is optional. So you can decide to pass it or you can decide to leave it. Okay. So I want it this way because I want to make it optional. The reason is because when I go to the navigation, let me show you something here. When I go to this navigation here and I click on this, I don't want to pass any food item there. So I want this one to be optional. Okay. So when I click on this, I know that I want to go to the add food item page. And at the same time, when I click on this, I know that I want to go to that place. But then at this time, I want to do it for editing. So I have to make this thing optional. Okay. So I use the curly bracket. Otherwise, if I remove this and then I say dot food, okay, and then I save, you can see we already having errors because it's now demanding that we pass in the food item to it anytime we try to navigate to this place, and that's not what we want. So we will surround it with what? A curly bracket, and that will make it optional. Okay, so now the errors are gone. Okay, so quickly, when we receive this, we want to change certain things. Okay, so now we go to the explore page, and then when you click on this, we can pass the food to it. So this is the food that we are receiving. So we know that model of foods is that it returns a list of foods, okay, and then the index will return a particular food item depending on the index that we are accessing. So I can just use this code here, okay, and then put it here. So now this will retrieve a food item and then pass it to this here, and then we can use it here. Okay, so now when I go to here, I'm now receiving it here. So how do I put all this food into this test form fields? Okay, so now we know that we are using one build test form field here, which is um not the core which is okay, okay, but then if you're using only one test form field method here, because there's one method and then we are trying to generate depending on the hint style, and then we generate a lot of different style. Okay, so to do this we have to make certain checks. Okay, but let me change this something here quickly. You can see that this is still saying that it needs something to be returned, which is let me bring it down. It needs to return, there's something here. You need to return a string here. So if I come here and I say return this, the error gone. The error is gone. Okay. So I have to just change something here. So I'll just say string error message. You let me just forget about it for now. Let me just focus on the most important thing. Okay. So we come here, and then now when we want to put any value here, when we click on this, okay, we want to put the values here. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We know that the transform field, if you don't know, the transform field has a parameter called the initial value, where you can put any value that you want. Let's say something here, and then when you save, it should appear there. Maybe it didn't appear. Let's just go back and then click on it again, and you put something here in or. The reason why you're seeing it all in or is because we are using the same method for it, so that's good. So you see it here, okay. So that's how the initial value works. So that is okay. So we have to pass in the details of the food item that we are receiving here to the test form field. And to do that, we can come here, and then first we have to check if the food item is null, because we know that it is optional. So someone can just, we can navigate to this place, okay, without passing any food item to it. So we have to check before we try to access any value of the food item. Otherwise, we are going to receive an error. So first we will say widget dot food, is it equal to null? If it is not equal to null, okay, and if the hint, okay, because we have to know which test form field we are working with, and the hint equals food title, okay, then we know that we are working with the food title. So now we can go ahead and say food dot name. Else we want to check again, we want to do the same check here, which is check here, and then we put it here, okay. Otherwise, we want to check if the food item is not equal to null and the hint is also equal to description. I hope you are just following along. Okay. If it is that is the case, then we want to say widget dot food dot description. I'm sorry, not declaration. Widget. Sorry, this is supposed to be question mark, which is the ternary operator dot description. Else, let me check for again. We want to check if it is not equal. It is equal to category. Okay. I just hope you understand what I'm actually doing here. Then if it's equal to category, then we can access the food. Okay, dot category. So let me show you something. Let me just format this for you to see something. See, the reason why we are doing this whole lot of checks here is because we are using this particular build test form field to build only. We are using one method to build a lot of test form field here, and this is okay, but if you feel like creating different test form field widget, so let's say we can do something like widget dot build category test form field, okay, something like this, and then we return the test form field, okay, something like this for each of them. It's just because a lazy guy. I don't want to be writing a lot of code here. That's why I just use one method here for the whole thing. But you can go ahead and then do something like this. So you build different things for them. So I'll just go ahead with this. In case I just think the code is just being messy, I'll just change it anyway. But it's fun anyway. So I save it this way and let's see what we get. Let's just go back and then click on it again. And this time we're getting another solid food and then some description. So we are left with the what? Um, we are left, or do you think we should change it? I'm even talking to myself. Do you think we should change it and build different test form field? How many fields? One, two, three, four, five. Oh, I'm just a lazy guy. Okay. Let's just continue. Maybe in the next video tutorial I'll change it. I won't change it now. So I'll copy this code and then put it here. And we can now change this category and then check if it is the hint is equal to price. Okay. And then if it's equal to price, then we want to print the price, which is food dot price dot string. Okay, because it's a double value and the test one field initial value doesn't accept a double value. If you check, it only accepts a string, so you have to change it to string. Okay, otherwise you get an error. Okay, if you want to see it, you can change it to anything I want. And then the last check is what we check and then discount. And then with the discount, we can now pass in widget dot food dot discount dot to string, and then we put empty here. Else put empty there. That means we don't need anything there. And this thing is looking so annoying. You see the way we have a lot of checks there, and because we are trying to use only one. Um, maybe I'll change it. Maybe I'll change it, but let's just focus on the main thing, which is the editing of the product. So when we click on this, we have this. Okay, forget about the image. We work on the image later. I just want to focus on that. So we have this. Okay, now we also want to change this. Okay, because we want to change the title of the bottom and then the title of the app bar, and it's easy to do, so we can go ahead and check this the button. So how do we know that we want to update? We want to update, the only time we know that we want to update is when the widget.food is not null. If it is not null, then that means the person wants to what, update the thing. So we can say update food item. Okay, we put our column here and then save, and we have update food item. Okay, so we do the same thing for the app bar here, the same method here. Okay, And then if it is not equal to now, we say update food item. Okay, and then we save, and then we got this. All right, so we have this, and this is looking so nice, but our code is looking some way. Okay, because I don't really like this idea. Recently I started building an app, and I didn't use this logic because it's kind of messy. Um, but I don't want to change it now. Well, else maybe I'll change it. I just want to focus on this video. So when I click on it, you can see we get this. When I click on hello, whoever passed this, see, okay. And then we can now go ahead and do something. So now we are left with the functionality. So when I click on the add food item, you see we don't get anything, but it's still the same form. We say add food item. But when I come back and I click on this, you see this. Okay, that's interesting. Um, so now we have to do the functionality. So when we check on the on submit, you can see we are only working on the model.add food. Okay, we are passing this function to the onSubmit method here, and then we are only using it here. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? This thing, when we come here, we have to write a function or a method here. It's a method, not a function, because we are in a class here. And with this one, this fetching, so we can create a new one. Say, let me just can I just let me just I don't even copy the code, maybe it will confuse some people. So let me just go ahead and create it and then say update food item. Okay, I'll update food, that's okay. And we are going to use the async here because of the HTTP request we are going to perform. And this time we have to receive this whole thing here. And you know what I'm going to do? You see, previously we were passing the food item there. So if you go into the add food item here on the on type page, we create an object and then we pass it there. I'll change this in the future because I don't like this idea that we have to create an object before we pass the object to that place, before we will go there and then create a map, and it's a whole lot of mess. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is instead of this time accepting an object, okay, I'm just going to accept a map straight from that place. So I'll go ahead with a map and then string um, dynamic, and then we can say full data, okay, something like that. And then we can write our try catch block, and then we are going to catch the error if there's anything should happen. So now we have to make an HTTP request like we do before. Okay, when we want to fetch, or we do the get. When we want to add, we do the post. Okay, what is it? The post request. Okay, this time we want to update. So if you want to update, the HTTP request that we are going to do is for put. We are going to do put here. Okay, and then that will help us edit our item or update our item. Okay, so with this one, when we start here, we are also going to check its loading to true because we are loading, and then we have to notify the listeners, and then we have to make our HTTP request, which is dot put here, and we have to pass in the URL, and I'm going to copy this URL here. Sorry, I'm just going to copy it here again, and this time when I do it, I just put it here. Now let me just close this here. We have to pass in a body, but I want to explain something before we continue. So you know that when we copy this and then go into the browser and paste it here, we are going to get all the food items here. Let me just reset. You're going to get all the food items here, and that is so much. Okay, but then we want to only update one item. So if you want to update only one item, then how are we going to do it? But when you click on one item here, it opens what you want for you. Okay, so you can see that there is this link. I just copy it here, and then I can paste this one here. Let's see. It will throw an error anyways. It didn't throw the error, so let me just push it there again. Yeah, it threw an error. So let's put the JSON there and then save it. You see the JSON, it returns only this for us. So if I want to edit, then I have to do something interesting. I have to pass in this, okay, foods slash the ID, okay, of the item in the Firebase, the ID, which is this particular ID here, okay, the ID of each food item, okay, pass the ID there, and then this ID will now will now go into um the database and then modify it. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Is going to be interesting. So we are going to pass this food item there. That's okay. But at the same time, too, we also have to find a way to get the item ID. So when we check here, I don't have any method that returns me the item ID. So I'm just going to create a method, okay, and a method to get me the item ID. So how do I get the item ID? Let's look at something. We have a list here, okay, and the item ID will actually be from here. Let me show you something here. Will be here because we are passing the food here. We know that this food, okay, this food item, where is it? Sorry, this food item will obviously contain the ID, okay, of this, because I think we did that in the add food. Let me check if I did it. Add food here. When we pass the add food to this link, we receive the ID, and then we were able to set new object, and that's correct. And then we pass it to this food eyes foods. Okay, so we said food with ID. So we know that we have the ID on it. So when we are creating this, but then let me just go ahead in the add food item here. Okay, so when I come to this side, there's one thing I want to do. I want to update, but if I want to update, I first have to check, because you can see that this is for adding. So I'll just cut this code here, and then I'll check if the widget dot food item is not equal to null. Okay, if it is not equal to null, that means I want to edit. So I want to edit the food item. Else, then I want to add else, else, if you can just do extra check. If you want, or you can just do else that food equals no, then you can just say I want to add new item. Okay, so with this one I can push the code here and then save it. So I'll push all the add food item code here. Okay, so we also have to accept a new function. Say function add sorry, update food. Okay, and this one we have to accept this here again, and then model dot update food. We have not completed the update food method here, okay, because I was thinking of the ID, because we need to get the ID, okay, and I want to do something for you to see. So when we come here now, this time we have the update food here. We are accepting it as a function here, as a parameter here. So I say I want to add, and here I want to update or update. I want to update the food item. So with this one, we know that we've changed that place to a map. So we will create a map of string of dynamic, and then Okay, and then say food items. Okay, let me just say updated food item here. Oh, sorry. And then we can just go ahead with something like this. Now this map is just this. So a map, we are saying the key will be a string, and then the values will be dynamic. It can be an integer, double, anything. So we just put dynamic there. Okay. So when we come here now, we can quickly do some checks. So we know that we are getting the name, which will be in the form of title, because we have this here. Okay. How I wish I would just change this whole thing, but then it will just, I'll put an underscore and then make it private, but it will just waste my time here. So I'll just go ahead and then put this name here. Will be what? Um, Name here is going to be name here is going to be the title. Okay, and then we also want the category. Okay, which is going to be category, and we are also going to get the description. um, Description to be description, and then we are also going to get a price to um what value are we even getting here? We get a string here. Okay, and then we change it to double. Why was I worried about changing it to double? Because if it's a string, we just put it into it. Okay, yeah, because I have a double here, of course. So that's why we change it to double. Yeah, it's because we were creating an object here. That's the most annoying thing. Because we are creating an object here, we have to force ourselves and then change it to double. Okay, so first let me just go ahead and also changes. Okay, let me just go ahead um change this to this price, and we can also go ahead with the discount and double that pass um double that pass here with discount. Okay, now you see the reason all these things are in the same test form field here, so we are still getting the same, we are still getting the values when the person is editing. Where is it? We unsaved. Where's the unsaved? Did I use unchange here? Why did I do that? It's supposed to be unsaved. Why did I use unchange here? I don't even remember why I did this way. Maybe whilst I was recording the video, I was tired. Unchanged and unsaved looks the same, but they work in different ways. Okay, so just use it unsaved here. Okay, and I think then there are a lot of things I have to change. Let me see. Okay, that's okay. So it's supposed to be unsaved anyway. So when we have these items here, we will still receive it. Okay, receive it and then pass it there. Okay, because the double is the discount and then the price here. Is it the discount and the price here? Discount and price. The price, I think everything is supposed to everything is required except the discount. So the discounts can be empty because we don't need the discount. So um here we want to check, okay, discount. We want to check if the discount equal, if it is not equal to null, if the person decide to leave it empty. Okay, if it's equal to null, then I would like to put 0.0. So if it is not equal to null, then I'll put this one there. But if it is equal to null, I'm going to put 0 to 0, 0.0, which is as a double. You can just do it 0. I like it this way. So this one now I have my map. Okay, and this time I want to call the update food items. So I'll say update food, okay, and I will have to pass in the map, which is what updated food item. Okay, now we also need the ID because this is the main problem here. We need the ID here, but we know that the food item here, the food the food that we receive as a parameter will contain the ID. So I will pass it here as food.id. Yeah. Sorry, widget.food.id. Already we are making the check here, so that is okay. So you can just go ahead and call it. Okay, we pass it there, and now we can accept it here. So we can say string food ID, something like this. And this time when we come here, we can now put it here. You may be wondering, why didn't I add it to the why didn't I add it to the map? Because when we add it to the map here, then this is going to create a field here. Let me show you something. It's going to create another field here. Let's say maybe food or ID. So suppose I come here. I'm sorry. I go to this side and I add it to the map and say, let's say food ID here. And I go ahead and do food widget.food ID because widget.food.id here, because here I will just go ahead and push the updated data, food data inside. Okay, so here the body is going to be JSON dot encode, and I'm going to put the food data there. Because I'm going to do something like this, if I put it there, if I put the food ID there, then this will create a new field here as food ID, and that's what I don't want. So I'm just accepting it as a new parameter. So I will just remove this code here. Okay, and then I have this. So now because I have this, when I go to that place, there's no need for me to do what? Um, Create a map there. Like unlike we previously created an object here, and then we pass the object to this side, and then when we go to that side, we create a map, and there's a whole lot of um, transformation of data types, and I don't like it. I just want to go straight food a map, and then we just pass it straight um, to the HTTP request as a body. Okay, so now we have this. We can go ahead and await for the sorry, await let's say final boolean of sorry final boolean of um response. Okay, I'm going to do response. Okay, await. So this method will return something here. So I'll go in here. I know that this is the update food. Okay, with this update food here, what I'm going this update food, we are going to return some true or false here. So we can await here. I don't think I need any response from this, but I just want to do it this way. And then now when we come down here, let me just close this thing out. I want a lot of space. So now we are pushing the response to this, and that is interesting. We are pushing, sorry, we are pushing this HTTP request. We get the ID and then we push this. So we say, okay, update this for us, and that is interesting. We're going to update with this map that we received there. So with that one done, we can now go ahead. Let me check something. We can now go ahead. We have the food item here, food ID here. But then when we update, you see that we have a list here. Okay, which is the food items. We also want to update the list after this is successful. Okay, after this is successful, we also want to update the list. So to do that, we also now have to create a new food object. Of course, that one we have to create a new object and then push it into or replace it into the list at that particular index. Okay. So to do that, what are we going to do? We can say food here, updated food item. And then we can go ahead and create a new food object. Okay, and then with this new food object, okay, we can now go ahead and pass in the ID, food ID. We can now go ahead and say what again? We can pass in the name to what did I give it? Let me go to the add food. What name did I give it? So I did name, category, description. Let me make sure that this is still the same. Sorry, here is title. Ah, so title, not name. So title, category, description. Yeah. So title here, because if you don't take care, you mess a whole lot of things up. So it's not supposed to be name, it's supposed to be title. Oh, okay. So there's something conflicting here. The food item itself is having name instead of okay. So there's a conflict here in this in the Firebase database. I'm doing title, and then in the object it's a name, and this is so not good. Oh God. Okay, anyway, let's just assume that we know because it's just there. So just keep in mind that the name is just the title. So I'll go ahead and this time say food data. And if you want to access any value in a map, you just use the key. So I use the key, which is the title. Okay, because you should know that I've changed this here. This map here is title. Okay, so we accept the title there, which is the key. Look at this. Look at it again. The key here. Okay, and then we have this. Okay, and when we do this, we can now go ahead with the category food data category. Okay, I'm sorry. We can now go to the discount. Okay, we can go food data of discount, and we can also go ahead. I'm sorry. We can also go ahead with the price, and we can say food data dot price. Okay, and let me see, we have the ratings description too is there, so we can also go ahead with food data description. Okay, and what again, we are left with the image and the ratings, and that one we are going to work on it later. So we have this, so we created a new food item, but how then do we push to this, how do we replace it to this foods list here? So after pushing it to the database, we have to replace it here, there. Okay, so to do that, here I'm just going to create a new, let me just go ahead and create a new method. I think, I don't know if I have already done that. I don't have it. So do I do it at the top or bottom? Anyway, let me just go ahead and do it here. So we can now create food, get food item by ID. Okay, I want to get a food item by ID because so I have an ID here that I'm receiving. So I can just go ahead and say get the food item by ID. So I will say food and then create this food. Okay, and then I can go through this. I can go through all the food items that I'm receiving. I mean, I already have. So I go to int and then I length is equal to foods dot length. Okay, and then I plus plus. So as we are looking through, okay, we are looking through all the food items, and then we want to get a particular food by the ID. Okay, so we can say if the foods, okay, index um dot food dot id, sorry, dot id equals to the ID that we pass. Okay, why did I use in this here? It's I instead. This I. Okay, because I was explaining that this is supposed to be the index. Okay, the I is referring to the index. So, so this time, when we find something which is equal to the ID, okay, if their ID are the same, then that is the particular food that we want. So we can say food is now equal to foods I, okay, and then if we find it, we don't want to continue on looping, so we can now break it, and then we have to return the food. Okay, so we get this. So now when we come here, I can now decide to say get the food by ID. Okay, and then I can go and say the food, and I can now say get food item by ID and then pass this food ID there. And then when I get this, I can also say get the index of the food ID. And then that is simple. And then I say food index. So this time we want to get the position of that particular food item at this index, at this food list. Okay. So we want the reason why, because we want to replace this updated food item at that same index. So we said food index, and then we can say foods dot index of. So the index of this food item that we now found, okay, and then we can say the sorry, we can say the food here. So this will return us the index. So now, if I'm done with this one, okay, I can now quickly go ahead and foods of what the food index is equal to the updated food item. I'm sorry, adapted food item. Yep, this one. You see, and I get something like this. So now when this is done, I push everything inside and everything is done. Okay, so now I can now set this is loading is to false because we are done, and then we can say notify listeners. And then because this is successful, if this is successful, then we are going to return a future value of true. Yeah, okay. And then we can also return this one if the error happens to, then we are not going to load again, so we set it to false. We notify listeners, and then we also return future dot value dot false. Yeah, because false means it didn't work. So now when we come here, okay, when we come here, we know here, okay, we know that we are going to receive a response which will be true or false depending on the state whether it failed or it worked. So we are going to do this. Okay, so if this is the case, we can say if response is true. Okay, if the response is true, then we are going to create a snackbar here. So I think I'll just copy this code here. Okay, and let me just paste this code here and then format the code, and we are going to create something like this. Let me just put a command to format the code where, yep. Now I want to set a background here, and I want the background to be of the same theme. Okay, we will do that for the other one too. Primary color, and then this one I want to set a style on it, a style, and I want to make the colors dot white. Sorry, colors colors dot white, and then we want the font size to 16.0, and then that is okay for now. And we also I don't want this thing to keep long. You see, the snack bar takes long to go off the screen, so I can set the duration of seconds, and I just want 2 seconds when it's successful. Okay. Um. Yep. When it's successful, something like this. We will change something here, so don't worry. And then else, if the response is false, Okay, so if the response is false, I can now put it here, and I can now say I also want to create a snack bar that it failed. Okay, if it is wrong, then I create a snack bar, but this time this color, because it's filled, we are going to make it red, colors dot red. Okay, and then the same font size, and then you can say you want to say failed to update food item. So and then say food item successfully updated, something like this, and then we can save. We can now do it this way. So with our fingers crossed, we can now try and um, check if our code is working. Okay, so we can check from here. Um, okay, this okay. Let me just go ahead and um. So now let's press on it and see something if it is going to work up. Something happened. Oh, my phone screen went off. Okay, so okay, it's back. So with this one now, okay, what I'm going to do is change something like make this one S S S S, and then let's click on it. Okay, let's see what is happening. Okay, said food item updated successfully, and we still have this thing loading. So I'll just go back, and then we can see the food item updated successfully. Let's just close this. We'll do that. Okay, you can see the breakfast there. And let's just go back here and come back again. Forget about this, we'll fix it. And then when we come back again, you can see that it's still fresh, and then we can see that it has been updated. But then we have some errors to fix. Okay, you saw it yourself. You have some errors to fix. Now, when we click on the on submit, we can see that this indicator is loading. Okay, and that is okay. It is loading. That is okay. But we want to make it dynamic, depending on what actually we are trying to show. Okay, so because we'll be using a lot of this dialog, okay, loading dialog, I'll just go ahead and come here and then make it, let's say, a widget, and then say show dialog something. Okay, dot and then copy the code from here to there. Okay, let me just cut the code, save it, and then come to this side and then paste it here. Now if I paste it here, I'm supposed to import the import package flutter material dot and yep, and then we have to accept the build context. Okay, and then we also have to accept, let's say, string message, something like that, and that is what we're going to put here. Okay, we're going to put message here. Okay, so with this one here, we can now go into the add food item, and where we have the error here because we are not seeing it. So we are saying show loading indicator, and this time we have to pass a message here, say adding item here, and it's like the same thing, but then we are now adding the item. So what I'm going to do here is interesting. What I'm going to do is here we now check if it's loading, we show it. So here we want to say adding item or updating item depending on the state we are in. So I'm just going to say widget dot food. If it is not equal to no, okay, then we are going to updating item. Let me say updating food, and then we can say let me just put the colon here, and then this is also adding food, something like that. So I hope you're getting what I'm trying to do here. So in the same way, when we come, you can see that the thing was still showing on the screen. So when we receive a response here, okay, when we receive a response here, if it is true, we want to pop that thing from there. I mean the alert dialog from there, dot of context dot pop. Okay, before we show the snack bar, and that is okay. And if it is also false, we still want to pop anyway. Okay, so we save it. Okay, and then let's click on this again, and it opens. And this time, let's change it back to the breakfast, and let's say update. So it's updating food, and then it changes and say updated food successfully. You didn't see it because something was covering the page, and that's okay. That's fine. So um, let me just change something here quickly. Yeah, I think I wanted to change something from mine. So we don't want to be on this same page when we update the item. We want to navigate back to this side, okay, and rather show the snack bar here. So how are we going to do that? So to do this, we have to change the code from here. Okay, when the response is true, which is here, when the response is true, we know that it's successful. So I'm going to copy this code here. Okay, and yes, obviously we want to pop, but then we want to navigate back. Okay, so we want to say navigate dot of context dot pop again. You should know that this pop is for to remove the alert dialog. Okay, and then this pop is to take us to the previous page, which is this particular page we are. Okay, so I say pop, and then it will take us to the other page, so to the previous page. But I want to send an info back, or maybe something, and then say it's true. Okay, I want to, when I go back, I just want to say it's true. Okay, I don't want to just be going back. For example, if I don't know if I did it for the let me see if I did it for if I did pop back. I think I did it on the same page. That is not interesting. So let's just pop it back. Okay, we come to this page here. When we come to this page, we want to show the snack bar. So I would like to send a value which can be true here now, or maybe response. Let me just pass the response to it. Okay, and then we know that if it's true here too, also obviously will be true, and then we are popping back, okay, to the screen. Okay, so how do we receive this? um let's go to, where is it, where is the explore page? Okay, that's where we came from. And then this is the material page. Okay, the material page, material route, page route that we navigated to. And then because we push, when we are popping back, we can await this. So I'll put async here. Okay, we can await for the value that we are passing back. Okay, and then the value can be true or false. So final boolean the response. Okay, we await for the response. Okay, so we want to check if the response is true. If the response is true, okay, then we can do what we did. I mean, the snack bar. I pasted a snack bar code here, but this code here will not work because we have to find the right scaffold key here. We don't have a scaffold key here. I can put a key here and say the explore page scaffold key, scaffold key, and then we have to create that key here. So that key is supposed to be the scaffold global key. So sorry, it's supposed to be scaffold. Okay. So this one here, I can now go ahead with global key here, and you can scaffold. Why am I writing this anyway? Then explore page. Let me just copy it. I'm too lazy to yup. So we have something like this. Okay. So now we have this key, and we can use this key here. Okay, so now I can uncomment this code. So if this is true, then we have to want to show the response here. Okay, so let's go back again, and then let's try to edit it, and then let's update. It pops and it goes back, and then we got it here. And that is interesting. Okay, but then let me show you something. When I click on this, okay, and then I go here, I click on this, I'm going to get an error. Let me show you. Let me clear this whole page and then show you. Okay, and then when I click here again, I should get an error. Yep, of course we had the error. So when I try to go, and this is because, okay, this is because when we click there, we are supposed to pass a value, because it's like you're going back to the page, and then this explore page here, this page is awaiting for something, it's awaiting for a value, and we didn't pass the value. Okay, we didn't pass the value to it, so this will actually throw an error because it's actually waiting for a value, and it's we didn't pass any value to it. So I'll go to that home, add food page, and look for that close button here, and then when we are popping, we want to pass false here, because there's a probability that we will click on it and then nothing happened. Otherwise, if you pass through here, let's see, and then save it, and then we click here, and then I'll go back, you see that this thing show food item successfully updated. So we have to pass in what? False here. Now you get a concept, okay? So we come here, and then we click back, and then we don't see anything because we didn't do any update, we didn't click on any update, and that is good. But then there's another problem. When we go there again, okay, let me click on it. When we go there and then we didn't add update this time, what if the user feels too lazy to click here? Okay, click here and then decides to click this button, because this button will also take us to what I mean, the button on the phone, the back button on the phone. This button will also take us back to the explore page, and that one too will throw an error. So let's click back here, and then we have an error which is saying Boolean expression must not be null. Why? Because when we click on this, there's nothing that we are passing. So how do we fix this error? So to fix this error, we have to make sure that our scaffold widget, okay, the whole scaffold widget, we wrap it with what widget called will pop. Let me just bring it this way. There's a widget called will pop scope. Okay, so the WillPopScope, let's see if it will give any us information. So this create a widget that will start a callback to vector attempt by the user to dismiss the closing modal route. So that's when the user try to click here to go back. So when something like that happens, so there's a parameter called on will pop, okay, and then this parameter, with this one, we can decide to now navigator dot of context dot pop. Okay, okay, and we can pass false here. Okay, we save it, And what am I getting? Yep, this will return. The function has a return type of boolean, but doesn't end with. So we don't need a value there. So I'll put an um underscore, and I'm getting an error anyway. So I'll say value, and I still don't get why I'm getting this funny error. So oh, it rather has a return value. Okay, sorry. So let's see. This won't work obviously because when I click here and I'm going to click here, let's see. We still get the same error because we have to return a boolean value. And where is it? Where is the real pop scope? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Why did I put that pop scope? Oh Lord, I was doing it on the wrong page. Sorry, sorry guys, sorry. I was doing it on the wrong page. I'm supposed to do it on this page. Sorry guys. So I'm supposed to do it here. So let's just quickly do it. Not that page. Okay. So on way of pop. So we do it this way, and then we now have to navigator dot of contest dot pop. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to do, passing false. Okay, but this is return, this also accepting the value, so we save, and then let's try to go back and see if something will work. Go back, and it doesn't go back. Okay, it doesn't go back. The reason, okay, let me just push this again. And our app crashed or whatever it happened, I don't even know. Let's just wait for it to come up again. Okay, so we go to the explore page. There are a lot of things we have to do on this. Okay, for example, show a loading thing here. Okay, let me just refresh the whole thing because it's still using the old code. So I'll refresh the whole thing and let's see what happens. Yep, so click here. We have to show something loading and then we receive. Okay, so we come here and we have this. So now when I click on the back, that one is working. When I click on here and then click on this side, what happens? It goes back and then that's fixed the error. So we can leave it this way, or you can see that this is also looking for a return value that we have to return. So we can just return a future. That is just for um to prevent future errors. So return the value and then we can return false, or I think true, sorry. I think true means it should pop. Yep, I don't really remember, but let's just see. And then click back and we crash the app. Okay, let's turn it to false and then save it and refresh the whole app again. I don't know what happens, but we have to return a value here, and okay, this is so not good. And then I click on it, I click on the back. Yeah, so we're supposed to return false anyway. Anyway, so that's how you fix it. You fix those errors. So click here. You can have now. You can now say another's. You can now go here, updating food item. You can see a food item updated successfully. So what happens if we turn off our internet? We want to see the error. If you are going to get an error, so here I'm going to click on, let's say, another's, and then I try to update it. So let's see, and then say fail to update food item. You see that one is showing because there's no internet, so it is not updating the food item, and that is also nice. Okay, so I think guys we have this, and I will stop the video here. Okay, so guys, I wish to record this video every day because it is fun recording the videos, and I like sharing my knowledge. I'm also learning as I'm teaching you guys. Okay, so I would like to record, but the truth is, internet bundle here is expensive. So if any of you want to support me, donate to me or anything, you can check my number in the about page and then contact me. I mean the about page of the YouTube channel, and then you contact me and then maybe you support me. But I'm not asking for I'm not trying to, this is for free, okay? So you can just watch it for free. I'm just saying that um uploading these videos are very expensive for me. Okay. So you can support me if you want. But anyway, anytime that I get the money to purchase bundle, I will just record the videos. I will see you guys in the next video tutorial. Thank you.